How you guys doing today? You guys ready to buy some properties or what?
Yes.
Good. Hey, I had a couple clarifications on this spreadsheet that I wanted to go over first. If you look at the top of the list, just real quick, on the insurance, where it shows the insurance for the condominiums on the top 25, it shows $50 a month, but just as the same as the condos below, the insurance is actually paid in the HOAs. That was just an error on the sheet. So if you see like the Portland, Bellevue 69th, all of those insurances where it says $50, those should be taken down to zeros. Just for a little clarification on your sheet. Do you see the top 25? It'll be line number 9 through line number 14. All those are condos. And if you look over to the far right, you'll see one of the columns is insurance. It says insurance PM. Instead of having 50s in there, they should be zeros. That was just an error on the sheet. That will effectively change the net rental returns on those as well. The condos up top.
Yes.
Yeah, do you guys understand what I'm saying here? On line number, it looks like line number 9 all the way through line number 14 at the top, in the top section. Properties number 9 through 14, those are all condos. If you look all the way over to the right, there's an insurance column. In that insurance column, it shows $50 a month. That should be zero. So that also will affect the next column that shows you net monthly rent. It should be upped by $50 as well. And that will also affect the net yield. Those net yields, I'll read them to you real quick if you like. It's the first one, which would be 4712 Portland, would be 12.9. The next one is 11.1. The next one is 12.0. The next one is 12.9. The next one is 12.0. And the last one, I'm going to have Ben figure real quick. I didn't figure it. Go ahead. 69. The one on 69th, I didn't have time to figure it before I got called up. Before we get into the properties, I just wanted to say a couple things real quick. And what I heard you guys talking about earlier, I just wanted to clarify a couple things from your question and answer session earlier. One, the most common question I heard was the insurance. I had 5 or 6 people come to me and say, hey, Tyler, you know, this is $5,000 a year net return, and all of a sudden we have to pay $2,000 a year to get our taxes done. That's all of our money. We pay $2,000 to a tax accountant or a tax attorney to do our taxes, and we take all our money. And also on the closing of the deal, I know that Jamie was up here and Ben and you were talking about it. When you sign these contracts, okay, I heard this earlier, the contract is really not valid until consideration is given, which is the exchanging of the money, which is when the money comes into the account. But this should also be known that if the money doesn't come in within like a 48 to 72-hour period, most contracts are all null and void. All of these products that we're moving down here move very quickly. Like I told you guys the first day, I couldn't even start working on my list for properties for you guys until the Monday that I got here because everything I had sold. As a matter of fact, the list we made, we sold stuff off of while we were here.
We had to revise it.
Yeah, so we're selling at a wholesale price, a turnkey package. So I'm not worried about how the money comes in, but if you guys contract with us, the title company and the contract will show that these things have to happen in this time frame. If they don't, we'll just sell it to somebody else. I mean, I'm not trying to say this to scare anybody or anything. It's just the way the process works. There's a 14-day due diligence period pretty much where you'll have time to do whatever you need to do, inspections, title work, whatever it is. If title's not ready, then we can extend it. If you have a super fund that the money's coming through on, well, if there's a good story, you know, and there's actually a reason, well, of course we'll extend the contract. But we're not trying to extend this 20, 30, 40 days because we don't have to. That's just not the way business works for us. It's just the plain and simple of it. And one last thing, and then I'm done. If you buy in cash in America, like I said earlier, it's really hard to get a loan in America right now, even for Americans. And especially if you're somebody who's from overseas, like I said, you have no social security number, no credit history, very hard to get a loan. So we have to go to some hard money lenders. But even if you don't get a loan on these properties, if you buy in cash, it's infinitely easier to refinance that property once you own it, which I'm sure is the same in Australia. So if you buy in cash, then we can start exploring other options down the road. But when you try to do a purchase with the finance, it makes it almost impossible, especially since you're from another country. But if later, after you bought these properties in cash, there's other things we can explore to leverage these properties. I just wanted you to know that as well. That's all I have to recap what you guys have already talked about. Now we're ready to start flipping through properties. And we've had 1,000 question and answer sessions, so hopefully we're good to go. So is everybody good? Yep. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll handle one. You want to handle one? Okay, great. All right, here is property number one. All right. It's like a game show or something. So you're the next contestant on The Property's Right. All right, property number one, here it is. 12450 West Hearn. If you guys will remember, I basically shown you 3 models in Phoenix. I was on the bus with you. We went to all 3 different models. We've talked about them in our other slide presentation. And now we're seeing one again. This would be that upper end model, the one we saw in Buckeye, although this isn't in Buckeye. It's in El Mirage. That was another one of those suburbs, just like Buckeye was when we went on the bus. El Mirage is another suburb. It's actually a little bit better suburb than Buckeye, a little bit. Just a slight step up, but pretty much similar. So here was the old estimated peak. It was 218 at its peak. The current price is 89. That's a 59% discount, $800 a month in rent. The gross yield's 11, the net yield's 9. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,308 square feet. I wish we had the year built. This thing was probably built in 06. I think this one was built in 06. It might be on your sheet, actually. It probably is. 03, there you go. Your built's on your sheet. Actually, all the information you guys are going to need to look at to make a decision on the investments is on these sheets. And I always say this too, this is a side note, but these are all just investments at the same time. Everything that you need to know is on these sheets. I know the properties all look different, some are prettier than others, but at the end of the day, they're just numbers on a piece of paper. This is all about investing in dollars and cents. It's nice to have a nice, pretty property, but I'm just saying it's all about the numbers. That's what's most important to you, and it should be. So I guess we go on. I don't know how this whole process works exactly. Do we just go to the next one now? All right. Or maybe, is there a map? I think some of you guys kept Ben out too late last night. He can't even work the computer. Who? There he is. Hold on. Oh, no. Who, me?
I'm here.
No, I heard the stories. Okay. Okay. Okay, so on the map, this is El Mirage. El Mirage, as you guys can see, maybe we have a clicker, but El Mirage is out here. It's out here closer to this Maricopa County. Actually, it's very similar. See, Buckeye's down here. El Mirage is here. It's actually a little closer to the city than Buckeye was. If you guys remember, we went down that highway, got stuck in the traffic jam. El Mirage is just a little bit north. Same kind of city, just a suburb. All the same attributes that Buckeye had. Same thing with El Mirage. Families, same thing. I'm good. All right, here's the next one. This one's in Mesa. I wish we had a little better picture. It's got a lot of trees, but it's a nice house. I actually just went by there today and looked at it myself. This one was 190 at its peak. This one's more closer into the city. Current price is $83,000, 56% discount. The rent $750, gross yield 11, net yield 9. 3-bed, 2-bath. As I told you guys, sometimes the more bathrooms you can have, the better. It helps renting. 1,040 square feet. This neighborhood over here is Mesa, I believe. Yeah, if you want to go to the map. Mesa was one of the original suburbs, okay? We had like Avondale, Glendale, Mesa, and Gilbert, Chandler, Tempe. These were like the original suburbs of the city when it was first built. And then the secondary suburbs would have been like El Mirage, and these are the newer ones. But still, Tempe, Mesa, down here, these are still pretty nice suburbs. You get a good, nice mix of people down here. It's a little bit above that Maryville product I showed you guys. Remember I was talking about the mid-range Maryville? This is kind of between the mid-range and between the nicer range, okay? So this is kind of like a fourth model almost. It's like a hybrid between model 1 and 2. Next product is the one in Buckeye, 240 grand, 64% discount, sold at 87%. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. A lot of these have 2 bath out there. It's a big house, 1,657 square feet. Net yield's 10%. This is one that's in Buckeye. This is basically in the same neighborhood I took you guys to. As a matter of fact, this is about 20 streets up from where we were at, about 20 blocks up. You know, we were just getting into Buckeye. This is 20 streets deeper into the middle of Buckeye. And you guys all know where the Buckeye was. Remember, here we are. Oops. This one's actually in Phoenix. As I told you guys yesterday, that Buckeye model I showed you, I just wanted to show you the newer houses and what they look like in the inside when they're finished. But we had the exact same houses in the city of Phoenix as well. This one's actually in Phoenix on St. Anne. It was $240 at the peak. Current price $89, 63% discount. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet. This one's actually in Phoenix proper though. Same kind of new house, just in the city. And actually, because I don't know Phoenix like the back of my hand, I'll tell you it's in this area somewhere here, which is Phoenix. I don't know, it's in a decent area of Phoenix. I just really don't know the exact area. So, same thing. This one's like a block away. I did drive by them, but it's almost got the same address. This one's on St. Katir, 1 block over. Same kind of house. When was it built, man? Just curious. 03? Okay. So 03. A lot of these were the 03, 04. Same thing. 9% net yield, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Sold at 63% discount off the market high. $89,000. Brand new house. I really don't know exactly where it was. This one's in Phoenix. Okay. This is like, this is the hybrid. This is another one of those little hybrids. It's kind of in between that Maryville and the new model. This is in a nice little area of Phoenix as well, on Catalina. It was 220 at the peak, 75 now, 66% discount. Net yield of 10%, 10.5. 4 bed, 2 bath, 1,700 square feet. It's deep. You can't tell from here, but it goes deep in the back. It's 1 level, but it's got another thing that goes off the back of it. This one's also in Phoenix. It's kind of by that Maryville area. It's just a little step up from the Maryville. Still same kind of area, though. Okay, this one here is down like the Maryville-ish model, that middle grade model. Now we're starting to get down to that, okay? 210 at the high, 58 current price. Net yield's a little higher, 13%, because we're getting back, like I said, as the risk goes up, the rate of return goes up. 4 bedroom, bath and a half, 1,500 square feet. This is a nice house too. I drove by this one this morning. There's actually some kids outside playing. I drove by a lot of them today just to check on them. This one here, as I just drove by it, was somewhere off the 17. It was somewhere like in this area right here. Almost to Glendale, that Maryville area right there. Same thing. This is kind of that mid-range model. This house is, let me see which one is this one. Mission. Actually, I went by this one today as well. This house is a very nice house, actually. Nice cars, nice manicured lawn. I like this little neighborhood here. This is probably a little step above that Maryville as well. 195 at the high, 78 now, 7.3%, 3.2 bedrooms, or 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,288 square feet. This is a nice house, though. It really is. Good neighborhood. Then here's some of the condos. These are going to be similar to the one I showed you yesterday on Dunlap. That was the end of the day. Walked you guys in there. Had a lot of questions. These were all around $90,000 at their peak. Selling it for $34,000 now, 62% discount. These net yields are actually wrong because we have to take the $50 back out that we had for month insurance. So really the net yield on this is 12.9%. Because of that insurance, once you take the insurance back out. And not all condos, by the way, have homeowners insurance baked into the homeowners association. But some do. They have what's called a blanket coverage, so that if something happens to your condo, everything's covered. Usually when the homeowners associations are like 150 plus, that's usually baked in. If they're cheaper, like 80 and some odd, they're usually not baked in. But the homeowners association on these is $160 a month, so that's a higher homeowners association. Insurance is baked in. So this return should be 12.9. That's the only thing you need to know on these. And these are going to be the same picture over and over again here, I think. These are all in the same unit. But the rates of return will be a little bit different. Go ahead.
They're all pretty much. They're all going to be pretty much right in here on the map, just for reference. Pretty close to the airplane. Is that what that is? Why don't I let it go to the airplane?
This is going to be the same thing over and over again. Just note that this isn't 9.5, it's 11.1. But you're going to see the exact same slide here. It's the same complex. All these Portlands are the exact same. So we can kind of, I've already told you what the yield should be. It's not 10.2, it's 12.0. $12.9. 12.0.
That's Bellevue.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Where is Bellevue exactly, Ben? Do you know exactly on the map here too? I think
It's
yeah,
right next to it.
yeah, Bellevue's right in here as well.
Right.
Yeah, the Bellevue condominium is not within the Portland ones. It's actually a few blocks away, but it's a very similar condominium. That's a 12.0 also. And then we have one last condominium that's actually a little bit bigger. I think this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath over on 69th. And this is not correct either. It's 13.0. The reason this one is actually lower, you take the $50 out, but for some reason this whole line got messed up. The HOA dues are not $93. They are $170 a month. So take that 93 out and put 170 in. And change that 50 on the insurance to a 0. When you do that, that makes this 13.0%. This is a large condo. It's a little bit larger condo. They actually call them townhomes over here. It's just it's a condo. You can call it whatever the heck you want. It's still a condo. It's just a bigger condo, but it's a condo. I call it condo. It's 2 stories. It's kind of like the one we saw on Dunlap. The one we saw on Dunlap was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, I think, but it was 2 levels. This one's got a bath down, 3 bedrooms and a bath up. It's just a bigger, blown-up version of the one we saw yesterday.
Everybody's straight on that though. 13% net rental yield.
Okay. All right. All right, here's another one that's out there in the suburbs. We're back out to some of the bigger, nicer houses. An El Mirage again. It was $240 at the height, $88,000 now, 63% discount. This one's got a little bit higher rent, $900. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. 10% rate. All right, this one's up in Phoenix. Actually, I was wrong. This one's a little bit of a hybrid, but we kept it in the mix anyways. We were driving by this one yesterday, and I thought, oh, wait, this one hasn't been rehabbed yet. I thought that because I went there earlier this week, and it hadn't been started yet because we just got a tenant for it. The tenant actually moves in next week. When we drove by, there was like construction tape and all this stuff on the outside, so it confused me. I was like, this can't be right. Well, it is right. My guys were working on it all weekend. They're working on it now. This is the only one in my list that's not turnkey right now, but it kind of is because it'll be done with rehab next week, and we'll have a tenant in it. So if anyone does want this one, we won't settle or close until the rehab's done and the tenant is placed. I just had a little bit of misinformation on exactly where we were in the process on this one. But right now, I just went by there this morning. Guys are over there. Windows are taped off. They're in there spraying. They're blowing paint all over it right now. So the tenant's supposed to move in mid to late next week. So just so you know. This was that one on Rancho we drove by. But we keep the rental sign in the front yard until the tenant moves in because it gives us a little more advertising. That's what threw me off. We went there yesterday and the rental sign was still there. There's another one. This is another nice house. I like this neighborhood a lot too. As a matter of fact, I got to meet this tenant when we were in town a couple days ago. Very nice lady in a good block. This one's just a little bit outside that Maryville range too. It's kind of a hybrid type deal, but it's in the city. $900 a month rent, 10% net yield. This house is actually pretty big. You can't see from the picture. It's deep. It's 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,590 square feet, and it's got a garage attached, I believe. I was just there, but yeah, it does. Okay, this is another one that I liked. This one on 76th Street was $220 at the height, $76 now, $850 a month rent, 11.5 net. Another big one, 1,580 square feet. This is a nice neighborhood too. I like this neighborhood a lot for the city. Close. And just so you know, all those ones that are in that little bit nicer neighborhood are kind of closer right here to Glendale. All right, so that neighborhood that I'm talking about is really close to Glendale. Go ahead. Here's another. This one, okay, Maricopa. This one's in Maricopa. This is the first one you guys have seen in Maricopa. Maricopa's been a hot county for a while. A lot of people like Maricopa. You guys have even probably heard of it. A lot of Australians have said, hey, do you have anything in Maricopa to me? Maricopa County is the county, so I think, are you talking about the county? Most all of what we're trying to sell is in Maricopa County. But this is actually in the city of Maricopa, and it's a little bit further out like Buckeye. Again, it was $230 at the height, $79,000 on this one. This one's actually a little cheaper. $811 month rent, 8.5% net yield. And again, Maricopa, is out here. Here's another one. I have two out in Maricopa right now. Same thing. Oh, we're selling both of them for $79. Good. All right, so $220 was an estimated price, $765 a month rent, 8.5%. I get a little bit less rent out there. The values are a little higher, but the rent's a little less. That's just the market rate out there. But the houses are very nice. 8.5 net yield, 1,000 square feet. All right, here's another one that's out there. This is a nice house too. I saw this one. This is a good one. $250,000 was at the peak. It's rented for $740 a month, 7.3 net yield. This house is probably pretty new. Let me look on here. What was the year this was built? Just curious. 05, yep. Yeah. Oh, there's one. Oh, Smith. That Smith was built in 09. Okay, next, please. Yeah, this is the one. I saw this. This was built in 2009. $280,000 when it was built. $88,000 now, $765 a month. I actually saw this house too. There's a lady outside, but I was driving by. I didn't say anything, but this was a very nice neighborhood. I think this is the newest house we have on the sheet, as a matter of fact. 2009, $765 a month, 1,699 square feet, 4-bed, 2-bath, a little bit bigger, 7.4%. Same thing. I think all these last ones are out there. This one's out in Maricopa as well. $245, $89,000 price, $765 a month rent, 7.2% net yield. Built in 03. Mountain View. This one is $86,000, was $275. It's a bigger house, 4 beds, 2 baths, 1,600 square feet, net yield of 10%. I haven't driven by this one myself, but I know guys who have. I know this neighborhood though. It's a good neighborhood. Oh, this one's actually in Avondale. I'm sorry, I thought this one was out in Maricopa as well. This is in Avondale, similar type city though, all right? Similar type suburb, as Buckeye, El Mirage, Queens Creek, Avondale, Maricopa, all the same. Avondale, right here, all right? So actually, we passed this. It was the first, if you guys remember why we were on the bus, you probably don't. We were going down the road, and there was this big dog track that had been turned into something else. Do you remember this? Right before we got to that dog track, there was a city we went through. That was Avondale. I don't know, so it's a little bit closer in than Buckeye. El Mirage, another one out in the El Mirage, 210, 98 now, 800 a month, 8.5 yield, 3-bed, 3 full baths, 1296 square feet. Do you guys even understand square footages? You guys don't use square feet. What? Square meters. That's what we should put up here, square meters. Huh? How many feet or meters? What's the conversion?
3 feet, 3 inches to a meter.
There it is. 3 feet, 3 inches. All right.
10.73 square feet per square meter.
Just divide by 10.
Divide by 10 and it's a little bit less.
Okay, divide by 10 and a little bit less. Got it. So we're 129 and a little less. We're 125 meters. Is that right? Is that right? Or am I? Something like that. Who knows? Okay, great. This is the last one.